From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Friday, December 6th, 2024.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kristen Shamus with the story of an innovative new strategy researchers at the University of Michigan are trying to unlock mysteries about pancreatic cancer. They are believed to be the first in the world to study the pancreases of organ donors, giving them unique insight into the triggers of one of the world's deadliest cancers. They are working with Gift of Life Michigan to get donor pancreases that can't be used for transplants for their research. The hope is that they will find new discoveries into the causes of pancreatic cancer and perhaps be able to develop a way to detect the disease earlier when it's more treatable. There currently is no routine screening test for pancreatic cancer and no single way to diagnose the disease. It is notoriously insidious because pancreatic cancer often shows no symptoms until a person has advanced stage disease, and by then, the options for treatment are very limited. The 5-year survival rate is only 13%. In collecting these donated pancreases, the University of Michigan team, led by Dr. Timothy Frankel, has built a biorepository of cells and tissue, proteins, and genes from more than 100 donated organs from a diverse subset of Michiganders. It's the first of its kind in the world. To learn more, go to freep.com.
From automotive reporter Jamie LaRoe, General Motors will record a total of nearly $5 billion in charges against its fourth quarter adjusted pre-tax earnings because of its struggling operations in China, the company said Wednesday in a government filing. The automaker is in the midst of a massive restructuring of its operations in China to reduce costs, operate more efficiently, and better match its vehicle portfolio to consumer demand there. GM has a 50-50 joint venture in China with SAIC Motor Corporation. The joint venture is called Shanghai General Motors, or SGM. SGM makes and sells Chevrolet, Buick, and Cadillac vehicles in the Chinese market. China is GM's second most important market, behind the United States, and is the world's largest auto market. GM's business has been under pressure there for several years now, due to a rapid rise in electric vehicles, increased regulations, and new domestic competitors entering the market. For more on this story, you can search on Freep.com for Jamie LaRoe's article, GM warns Wall Street of a $5 billion hit it expects to take from losses in China.
I'm ML Elric, on-guard government watchdog columnist at the Detroit Free Press. Today I did something a little different. I wrote an obituary for William Roberts, who passed away last week at the age of 78. Bill wasn't just a politician, although he was elected mayor of Walled Lake 7 times, and he was a political animal. He was a salesman, first at the downtown Hudson's flagship store, and later in Pontiac. That's where he met his wife, and he also ministered to his flock as an Episcopal priest. Bill knew some of the legendary Michigan political figures like Senator Phil Hart and Governor Jim Blanchard. He did a lot more in his life, and you can read all about it, including how he helped transform Walled Lake from a quiet community to a place where all the streets are paved. Yes, at one time, Walled Lake had a lot of dirt roads. It's all in my latest story for the Detroit Free Press. Please subscribe to support our investigative reporting and all the storytelling here at the Detroit Free Press.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. Richard Old had heard the stories, nearly all of them from his late grandmother, who occasionally spoke with melancholy and pride about her older son, Jack. Uncle Jack lived in Detroit, joined the Navy at 22, and served on a battleship in Hawaii until December 7, 1941, when Japanese warplanes sank it. But Uncle Jack, along with 2,340 other service members, was killed, presumed dead. And for a few years, like so many others at Pearl Harbor, his remains couldn't be recovered at all. And then, for decades, they couldn't be identified. Now, after more than 80 years of waiting, hoping, grieving, and in more recent days planning, Auld's family, which has moved from Michigan to New Mexico, will finally get to put the remains to rest, among other loved ones, at Fairview Memorial Park in Albuquerque. Richard Old added, the government's definitive identification and return of Uncle Jack's remains, which included his skull, jaw, some teeth, a femur, and other bones, has helped him learn more and better understand his own family's and nation's history. The burial, with full military honors, also illustrates how far medical and forensic science has progressed and how committed America is to fulfilling a simple but fundamental promise rooted in the political philosophy of its founding fathers.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on Freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thanks for listening, have a great weekend, and you'll hear more from us Monday.